Let's take a look at the best small towns in each state. Everyone wants to move to a small town these days. Small towns are unique and they always seem to have an interesting story. Small town, big story as the saying goes. Singers and bands always seem to have a small town song, especially in like the country western thing. Jason Aldean, like last year or two, had a song called Try That in a Small Town. Back in the 80s, you had Bronski Beat, maybe that was the early 90s, Small Town Boy. Two completely different storylines on that one. We ran a survey asking people what is the best small town in their state. We got a lot of replies. These are the people's opinions, so you might not agree with them, and that's fine. There are a lot of great small towns in each state, and we're only picking one. Now, it took a long time to sift through all the votes, mainly because we didn't set it up right, and I would appreciate it if you guys gave this video a big thumbs up and let us know which small town in your state is the best. That's what we're doing. Got it? Get it? Good. Let's take a look. Let's start things off with Fairhope, Alabama. Fairhope sits on the eastern shore of Mobile Bay. Known for its stunning views and artsy vibe, founded in 1894 as a utopian community based on single tax principles. Fairhope has evolved into a retreat for artists, writers, and intellectuals these days. In modern times, Fairhope offers a laid-back lifestyle with charming boutiques, art galleries, and waterside restaurants. The Fairhope Pier and Mobile Bay are popular spots, and it's not uncommon to find the locals enjoying a scenic sunset walk. Out of the Alabama votes, Fairhope got 19 out of 37. Sitka, Alaska. Nestled on Baranof Island in the Pacific, Sitka is rich in both Russian and Tlingit heritage. The town was part of the Russian Empire until Alaska was sold to the US in 1867, and it retains some of its Russian charm. In present-day Sitka, residents live on a beautiful island. It's just surrounded with beauty, fjords, forest, and wildlife. Sitka National Forest and nearby islands offer plenty of things to do and see. Now, I've been to Sitka 3 times, and the town, there's not much to it. It's a small Alaskan town, but I think what's around it and the Sitka Sound that it sits on, that's where the beauty and the interest comes for Sitka. In my opinion, I think there's cuter, I guess you could say, small towns in Alaska, but a lot of people like this one, and I think it's because it's so far away from everything. If you go on a cruise, they'll take you to it. Well, most cruises, check. Life here is quieter, but the dramatic scenery makes every day feel like an adventure. 22 of Alaska's 46 votes chose Sitka. Bisby, Arizona. Sitting in the Mule Mountains, Bisby is a small town with big personality. Founded in 1880 as a mining camp, Bisby quickly grew into one of the richest mining towns in the world, known for its copper, gold, and silver deposits. They're pulling everything out of the ground here but plutonium. Coincidentally, they have a very low cancer rate. Unless you factor in skin cancer, then they're through the roof. When the mines closed in the mid-20th century, the town reinvented itself as an arts and culture destination. Its steep and winding streets are lined with Victorian-era houses, and the town's artistic community has filled Bisby with galleries, shops, and quirky attractions. They've got all kinds of mining things here, like mining tours and a mining museum. I have a friend that went on one of the mining tours. I've never gone on one, but he said it was excellent. Bisby got 59 votes out of 132 votes in Arizona. Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Known for its Victorian architecture, Eureka Springs feels like you've stepped back in time. It's built into the hills of the Ozarks. The entire town is on the National Register of Historic Places. Its historic springs are believed to have healing properties, and it once drew visitors from everywhere. Everyone came there to get cured. Arthritis, head to Eureka Springs. Gout, head to Eureka Springs. Hemorrhoids, head to the pharmacy, and then to Eureka Springs. Eureka Springs is now a haven for artists and nature lovers. With a pretty good art scene and proximity to the Buffalo National River along with Beaver Lake, it's got a lot of outdoor activities to do here. Now, I know I talk a lot of bad things about Arkansas, but one thing you cannot deny, it's a beautiful state. Get outside a few of their cities and overall, it's a decent place to live. And Eureka Springs is pretty good. Listen to this. 35 out of 44 votes for Arkansas were Eureka Springs. A lot of people like it. Healdsburg, California. Healdsburg is located in Sonoma County's wine country. It offers a blend of small-town charm and upscale sophistication, I guess you could say. That's a nice word for saying this is where all the rich, educated people live. It was founded in 1857. Healdsburg was initially an agricultural town known for its orchards and farms. Today, it's like the premier destination for wine enthusiasts. The old days, they used to call them winos. But they have world-class vineyards and wineries surrounding the town. The historic plaza at the heart of Healdsburg features all kinds of different shops, art galleries, and award-winning restaurants that serve locally sourced food, and of course, plenty of wine. This place, I think, at one point was a pretty good hippie-type town, but, you know, as the years go on, people start putting up more expensive homes, and it becomes a cute little, village. The Russian River flows nearby, offering all kinds of things to do, kayaking, fishing, and of course, picnicking. Now, this is a pretty good one, because there was a lot of people that voted for California, 117, and they had quite a few entries into this one. And they only beat out Carmel by the Sea by 1 vote. Healdsburg got 19 out of 117 votes. Telluride, Colorado. Telluride is famous for its scenic beauty and outdoor recreation. Once a booming silver mining town, Telluride has retained its historic charm, with well-preserved Victorian buildings. Today, it's a popular ski resort and summer festival destination. Life in Telluride evolves around outdoor activities, skiing in the winter and hiking and mountain biking in the summer. The town's remote location adds to its charm, making it a peaceful retreat for nature lovers. And don't get any delusions that you can just go there and soak up the vibe and maybe, get yourself a small apartment. Yeah, that doesn't happen. The typical home here is over $2.5 million. I'm in a suburb outside of Portland, Oregon, and I'm looking at homes here. That would be about the equivalent of something going on here in Beaverton, where we'd pay maybe $600,000 for it here. It's going for about $4 million in Telluride. Telluride got 31 votes out of 87. Mystic, Connecticut. We just talked about Mystic not too long ago. Mystic may smell, but it has a big reputation thanks to its maritime history, and that's why it smells right there on the ocean. Mystic offers visitors a glimpse into its seafaring past at the Mystic Seaport Museum and Mystic Aquarium. Life here is you're like living in a postcard. Charming streets lined with shops, seafood restaurants, and the view of the Mystic River. I mentioned before that it's on the ocean like I just did right now, and everyone's all, no, it's on the Mystic Bay. The ocean's quite a distance from Mystic. So, come on, man. A lot of people have this negative view of Connecticut, and I think a lot of that has to do with, actually I know it has a lot to do with how Hartford is. Hartford's a nightmare, and I'm sure they got some little crappy towns just like every state does, but a majority of this state is beautiful, and Mystic's a perfect example of that. Mystic got 17 out of 46 votes for Connecticut. Lewes, Delaware. We just talked about Lewes a couple weeks back, I think. Lewes claims to be the first town in the first state, founded in 1631. Its long history includes pirates, shipbuilding, and the American Revolution. And they named the town after an Italian guy that the mayor owed some money to, named Lou. I'm just kidding, I made that up. Today, Lewes is a peaceful seaside town with charming shops, historic buildings, and access to a state park and the Atlantic Ocean. Residents enjoy quiet coastal living, and its proximity to the far more popular Rehoboth Beach offers a balance of tranquility and a little car trip for some excitement. Lewes got 26 out of 74 Delaware votes. Mount Dora, Florida. Mount Dora was founded in the late 1800s, and it's a classic small Florida town known for its antique shops, historic homes, and annual festivals. Now here's something really interesting about Mount Dora. Never heard of it. I study maps all the time, and I make these videos, and I read about little places, and that's what I do for a living. I've been doing it for years. Never heard of Mount Dora. But a lot of people voted for it. It's located on the shores of Lake Dora, and this town offers you a glimpse of old Florida, complete with quaint bed and breakfasts and nature-filled parks. In modern times, life in Mount Dora is laid back, with the historic downtown providing a hub for shopping, dining, and community events. So you're probably saying, Briggs, how do you know that? Well, I'm looking at their website, and I called a friend. Well, didn't call him, hit him up on Facebook, because he retired to Winter Garden. He gave me the lowdown on this little town. Now, Florida got a whole bunch of votes, 249 to be exact, and they had a lot of different cities that were voted on this one. So Mount Dora wins with 17 out of 249 votes. All right, folks, a quick pit stop here. Today we're talking about something that's probably lurking on your phone right now. Forgotten subscriptions. Yeah, you know the ones, the apps you downloaded in 2019 and forgot they even exist. You've just been paying on them month after month. I had one. It was this app that would put abs on any picture I had. Anything. I'd put abs on the Mona Lisa. Anything. I checked my phone and thought, wait, I've been paying for this for almost 3 years now? I don't like to do math when I don't have to, but I'm pretty sure that money could have been used better elsewhere. Fear not, because today's sponsor, Rocket Money, is swooping in like a financial superhero to save the day. If you've never heard of Rocket Money, let me tell you, it's like an all-in-one personal finance sidekick. It helps you manage subscriptions, lower bills, build budgets, and even grow your savings all in one app. Rocket Money has this brilliant feature that will not only help you find all those random things, but actually help you cancel them. No awkward phone calls or shady cancellation buttons that try and get you to stay with the subscription. And if that wasn't cool enough, they also help you monitor your credit. That happened to me one time. I had something on my credit I knew nothing about. I went to co-sign for a loan for my daughter for her car, and they said, oh yeah, you got something on your credit. You might want to check it out. And I had no idea what it was. I had a lot of phone calls. I had to find out what it was. If I would have had Rocket Money back then, they would have given me the heads up and I wouldn't have been in that situation. She got the car eventually. Oh, and here's the cherry on top. Rocket Money will actually negotiate your bills for you. Yeah, you're not going to have to call the cable company anymore and try and renegotiate the bill that you have with them. Rocket Money does it all for you. If you want to save some money, join the 5 million customers already using Rocket Money. Just head over to rocketmoney.com/Briggs or hit the link in the description area below. You could start for free and even unlock more features with premium. Trust me, Rocket Money will help you change your financial situation for the better. That's rocketmoney.com/Briggs to start. Now back to the video. Blue Ridge, Georgia. Tucked away in the North Georgia mountains, Blue Ridge was once a railroad town. Today, it's known for its scenic beauty and outdoor adventures. The Blue Ridge Scenic Railway offers a nostalgic trip through the mountains and the nearby Chattahoochee National Forest. That word always sounds like slang for a body part, Chattahoochee. You know, I'm sorry. Deep down inside, I have the sense of humor of an 8th grade boy that was raised by sailors. Anyway, the Chattahoochee National Forest provides endless hiking and fishing opportunities. Life here is all about the mountains. These are mountain folk, but they also have a lot of wineries, so you got mountain folk and wine. What could go wrong? This is a beautiful area of Georgia. 31 out of 88 people voted for Blue Ridge, Georgia. Lanai City, Hawaii. Lanai City on the island of Lanai, sorry about my pronunciation, is unique in that it was once a plantation town built by the Dole Pineapple Company. Today, this small town maintains its quiet charm with plantation-era buildings, and it's a getaway to the island's outdoor adventures, including exploring Shipwreck Beach or hiking the Monroe Trail. This is the perfect type of town for a slow-paced life. I mean, Hawaii's kind of laid back already, but this just takes it down a notch. Lanai City got 22 out of 78 votes. Wallace, Idaho. Known as the silver capital of the world, Wallace is a historic mining town tucked away in the Silver Valley. Now, that's interesting. It's known as the silver capital of the world, but Nevada is known as the Silver State. You'd think they would have picked up on that one. This entire town is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. That might be a good series. All these towns that are in the National Register of Historic Places, that might be interesting. Anyway, in modern times, Wallace is both a living museum and a place for adventure. The town is surrounded by mountains, making it a perfect place for skiing, hiking, mountain biking, whatever you want to do if there's rocks and an incline involved. The historic buildings and the little shops, restaurants, and the museums preserve that whole Old West spirit that you'll find in parts of Idaho. You really find that type of stuff in Wyoming and Montana, but Idaho still carries a lot of that too. Wallace is a cute little town. I drove through there years ago. We were doing a road trip. If you're heading west from Missoula, you'll eventually run through Wallace. What I really like about it, and if you've ever been on a long road trip, you understand this, but it's easy to get on and off the interstate there. Wallace, Idaho got 16 out of 51 votes. Galena, Illinois. Now, this one's pretty interesting. Galena is actually named after something they used to pull out of the ground here. Galena is actually the Latin term or the Latin word for lead sulfate. In the mid-1800s, Galena was one of the most important cities or towns in Illinois. This place is great. It's got a great location. It's not too far from the Mississippi River, and it is far enough away from Chicago. It was also once a major steamboat hub and obviously a mining town. Galena now thrives as a destination for history buffs and tourists. Its well-preserved 19th century architecture is like a window into the past. Ulysses S. Grant, the 18th president, once called Galena home, and you can tour his old residence where he used to live. Go in there and check it out. Today, Galena offers charming little shops and scenic views and access to the nearby Mississippi River. I like it. It's one of those little towns that spring up in the middle of like the farmland. You drive along and here it is, boom. Then you drive through it and boom, farmland again. Now it has the Mississippi River not too far down the road, but they have the Galena River going right through town. 23 people voted for Galena out of 88 votes. Madison, Indiana. Madison, located along the Ohio River, is a hidden gem in southeastern Indiana. It was founded in 1809. Madison quickly became a significant trading hub due to the river access, and much of its well-preserved 19th century architecture remains intact today. Madison is home to the largest national historic landmark district in the U.S., with over 130 blocks of historic homes, shops, and churches. Now, this one doesn't really fall under the small town because it's got like 12,000 people there, and 32,000 in the whole area, but a lot of people voted for this one. There's a couple on this list that are like that aren't technically small towns, but this one is out on its own. It's on the Ohio River right across from Kentucky, and the closest big town is Louisville downriver, about an hour away. 41 out of 68 votes picked Madison, Indiana. Pella, Iowa. Founded by the Dutch and settled in 1847, Pella is known for its Dutch-inspired architecture, windmills, and tulip festival. I mean, if the Dutch are involved, you gotta have windmills and tulip festivals, right? The town's heritage is proudly displayed through its annual Tulip Time Festival, and the residents enjoy that whole small-town charm thing that's enhanced by Dutch pastries and shops in the downtown village. Life in Pella is kind of quiet. It's serene. I usually don't use that word, but it's fitting here. With a strong connection to its roots and community spirit centered on shared traditions. That was an explanation I got from their thing. They call it shared traditions. Pella got 18 out of 66 votes. Lindsborg, Kansas. Lindsborg is also known as Little Sweden, USA. It was settled by the Swedish, imagine that, in the late 19th century. The town maintains its Scandinavian heritage through festivals, art, and food. Local shops are filled with Swedish imports, and the town is home to several art galleries. Today, Lindsborg offers a mix of small-town living and cultural pride, with the Swedish influence still felt here every single day. It's a cute little town. I've never been to this one, but it looks really nice. I've watched a couple videos, and it must be nice because a lot of people voted for it. 21 out of 56 Kansas votes picked Lindsborg. Bardstown, Kentucky. Bardstown is known as the bourbon capital of the world, and its history runs deep in Kentucky's bourbon culture. It was founded in 1780, and it's one of the oldest towns in the state and is home to some of the best distilleries, including the famous Maker's Mark. Bardstown also has historical gems like My Old Kentucky Home State Park. I know that sounds like I made that up, but no, that's actually the name of this state park, My Old Kentucky Home State Park. If you're looking for it on a map, it is between Elizabethtown and Lexington, closer to Elizabethtown though. This whole area is a beautiful part of Kentucky. Actually, for all its problems, sort of like Arkansas. It's got a boatload of problems, but being a beautiful state ain't one of those problems. Bardstown got 19 out of 42 Kentucky votes. Natchitoches, Louisiana. This was founded in 1714, and it is the oldest permanent settlement in the Louisiana Purchase territory, meaning it was here before we bought this area. Its French Creole architecture and cobblestone streets give it a distinct old world charm. Cane River Creole National Park, yeah, that's a mouthful, and the town's historic district draws visitors year-round. Life in Natchitoches today is relaxed, with a focus on heritage food and the annual Christmas festival, which turns the town into a holiday wonderland. You can also find the Cafe Frederick General Mercantile, or General general store. It's Louisiana's oldest general store. Natchitoches got 34 out of 62 Louisiana votes. It's a pretty high rate. Camden, Maine. Camden, often called the Jewel of the Coast, was a busy shipbuilding town in the 19th century. Today, it's a picturesque coastal village with a backdrop of mountains, an Instagram-worthy harbor, and historic architecture. Camden Hills State Park offers hiking with breathtaking views of the bay. The town retains its maritime roots, and life here is all about balancing quiet small-town charm with outdoor adventures and seaside living. I was just in Maine a couple weeks ago. I really like Maine. I'm starting to really like it again. For a long time, I thought it was pretty cool, but I'm starting to see where the beauty is of it again. It's like I rediscovered Maine on a cruise of all things. But you're on a cruise and everything's wonderful then, so who knows? Maine didn't have a lot of votes, and it barely beat out Bar Harbor. They got 14 out of 33 votes. Bar Harbor got 12. St. Michael's, Maryland. Just off the Chesapeake Bay, where the Miles River meets the East Bay, you find St. Michael's. St. Michael's has its roots in shipbuilding from the 1600s. It's most famous for being a town that fooled the British during the War of 1812. Today, it's a quiet town on the Chesapeake Bay, known for its seafood, charming inns, and the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum. Residents enjoy a slower pace of life. Boating and the quaint feel of this historic seafaring town are amazing. St. Michael's got 28 out of 71 Maryland votes. Stockbridge, Massachusetts. Stockbridge is exactly what you expect when you think about a New England town, and it is known for its cultural history. It was home to Norman Rockwell, who immortalized the town in his paintings, so it's gotta be on here. I mean, we're talking about perfect small towns. Norman Rockwell lived here. Today, the Norman Rockwell Museum and Tanglewood, the summer home of the Boston Symphony Orchestra, are cultural highlights here. Life in Stockbridge is calm, with a strong sense of tradition, culture, and community. Now, I like this place because, like I said, it looks like the perfect New England town. One other thing I noticed about the place, they don't have many boarded up shops downtown. That's going, around the United States. Amazon and so many other places have just put downtowns out of business, or at least half vacancies. Not this town, they're pulling it together. This one got a lot of votes. I mean, Massachusetts in general did. Stockbridge got 41 out of 175 Massachusetts votes. Saugatuck, Michigan. Saugatuck, once a lumber town, is now a beloved lakeside art community, known for its sandy beaches along Lake Michigan and the Kalamazoo River. Saugatuck is like a summer's... This is where people go for the summer. That's all there's to it. I mean, they've got some full-time residents, quite a bit, but during the summer, the place blows up. The town's galleries, shops, and festivals reflect its artsy vibe. Oval Beach, just minutes from downtown, is often ranked as one of the best beaches in the U.S. Life here is relaxed, with a focus on lakefront living, art, and the seasonal tourism. Now, this one was voted in. I have a friend, I used to play hockey with him, he's from Michigan, he knows this place. He said summer, it gets a little too much there. Said go towards the end of the summer, it's a little bit better. 31 out of 79 Michigan votes picked Saugatuck. Grand Marais, Minnesota. Grand Marais is a quaint town on the north shore of Lake Superior, known for its art scene and outdoor activities. Now, this place has some pretty cool stuff. You can hike the Gunflint Trail, you can go up to Devil's Kettle Falls, or just eat some really good tacos. This was once a fur trading post, and it's turned into a haven for artists and adventurers alike. Now, obviously, once you hear a French name like Grand Marais or Grand Marais, but as soon as you hear a French term up in this area, you know it was a fur trading post, and that's exactly what this one was. Back in the day, the 1800s, actually the late 1700s, this whole area was French fur trappers. They also have the nearby Boundary Waters Canoe Area, Wilderness as it's called, and it offers unparalleled access to nature while the town itself is filled with galleries, cafes, and shops. Life in Grand Marais revolves around Lake Superior and the great outdoors, with a strong sense of community and creativity. If you go to Wisconsin, you go to Minnesota, you can feel the sense of community these small towns have. Grand Marais got 66 out of 120 votes. Ocean Springs, Mississippi. We just talked about this one on a list like 3 weeks ago. Ocean Springs is on the Gulf, and it's not too far from Biloxi. Biloxi it gets a little wild, it gets a little crowded. Ocean Springs is a little bit better, in my opinion. Ocean Springs is a charming coastal town founded in 1699. It's known for its artistic spirit, much of which can be attributed to the artist Walter Anderson, whose legacy is honored in the Walter Anderson Museum of Art. Ocean Springs boasts beautiful beaches, oak-lined streets, and a vibrant downtown. In modern times, life here is a little more relaxed. It's a beach town, it's a beach community, and it's in the South, so these people know how to relax. Ocean Springs got 40 out of 73 Mississippi votes. Hermann, Missouri. Founded by German immigrants in 1837, Hermann is known for its vineyards and wineries. Here we go with the wineries again. Those always make for a great small town. This Missouri River town retains much of its German heritage, visible in its architecture, food, and festivals, like Oktoberfest, which you'd think, if it's German heritage and they have a good Oktoberfest, this place should be known for its beer, not its wine. Hermann's rolling hills and proximity to the Katy Trail makes it a favorite for outdoor enthusiasts. I love that word, enthusiasts. Today, life in Hermann is slow-paced, with an emphasis on the wine culture, the history, and the scenic beauty. It's a nice place to live. One good thing about Missouri, overall, compared to other places, it's a lot cheaper. Now, Missouri got a lot of votes, a good amount of votes, and they were all over the place. Hermann is the only one that got over 15. 18 out of 86 votes voted for Hermann, Missouri. Red Lodge, Montana. Red Lodge is the gateway to Yellowstone National Park, but its own history as a coal mining town is equally fascinating. Today it's a hub of outdoor activities like skiing, hiking, and fly fishing, with Beartooth Pass offering stunning scenic drives. The fly fishing, if you don't know, is huge in Montana. Life here revolves around outdoor adventure and natural beauty of Montana's rugged landscape. Now, I did a whole video on why Wyoming doesn't have a lot of people. Montana falls under the same situation. Back in the early days when people moved out west, the land there was just a little too harsh for, let's say, the people and the technology. You know, they had better options in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, just because it was a little more forgiving landscape. So it's like it stunted both these states' growth. Not taking anything away from them, they were just pretty rough, areas back in the day. Montana didn't get a lot of votes, but Red Lodge got most of them. Red Lodge got 9 out of 12 votes. I guess people still don't have much internet in Montana. One thing I really find fascinating that over the last 2 or 3 years since I've done like a Montana video where internet connection was a big problem. Well, in the last 3 years, Starlink has come out. They've done all this rural area fiber. It's really no longer an option, all in about 2 or 3 years. Brownsville, Nebraska. Brownsville, founded in 1854, is a small town steep in history, particularly from its days as a riverboat hub on the Missouri River. The town has preserved much of its 19th century architecture and is known today for its cultural offerings, including art galleries and a book festival. Life in Brownsville is quiet and community-centered, with a strong appreciation for history and culture. Anytime you run into Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, it's, going to be community-centered and it's going to be quiet. Brownsville got 32 out of 93 votes. Virginia City, Nevada. Virginia City, a boomtown from the Comstock lode Silver Strike, was once one of the wealthiest cities in America. Though the mining boom ended, Virginia City has preserved the Old West heritage. Today, the town is a living museum. That's the best way to describe it, with historic saloons, boardwalk, and a staged shootout for visitors. Yeah, everyone wants to see a good Old West shootout, right? Residents enjoy a small-town lifestyle infused with historical pride and a bit of theatrical flair. Now, if you think about it, isn't it a little weird you take your kids there to see a shootout? Yeah, it's fake, but think about what happens in a shootout. People die, people grow holes in them, people are widowed, people are orphaned. Sounds great. Let's take the kids to see it. Virginia City got 34 out of 76 votes. Hanover, New Hampshire. Home of Dartmouth College, Hanover combines small-town charm with academic prestige. Settled in 1761, Hanover's history is tied to education and intellectual pursuits. The Appalachian Trail runs right through town, offering outdoor adventure alongside culture and academic events. This is the type of town where you can go in and have a philosophical debate at a local coffee shop. 19 people picked Hanover out of 56 New Hampshire votes. Lambertville, New Jersey. Lambertville was founded in 1705 and it sits along the Delaware River and is known for its antique shops, art galleries, and 19th century homes. It's a town that celebrates creativity and history in equal measure. The Delaware River and a canal runs through town, providing a scenic bike route for walking and biking, I guess you could do. Lambertville today is a quaint, artsy community with a festive weekend market scene and a love for history and arts. This is a pretty cute little town. A lot of people like it. Lambertville got 72 out of 160 votes. Taos, New Mexico. Taos is an artist's paradise, nestled in the high desert of northern New Mexico. Founded in 1615, the town is known for its Pueblo architecture and rich Native American history. The nearby Taos Pueblo, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, remains a living Native American community. In modern times, Taos draws artists, outdoor enthusiasts, and spiritual seekers. Life here is colorful, kind of eccentric, and it blends art, culture, and nature. Celebrities own homes here. I think Julia Roberts owns a home here, a few other people, or at least at one point they did. I did this town a couple of years ago in a video, and I just remember there was all these celebrities that own property there. Taos, New Mexico, got 51 out of 67 votes. That's a good rate. Skaneateles, New York. Skaneateles is located in the Finger Lakes region of this state, offering pristine lake views with historic charm. Its name derives from the Iroquois language, which means long lake. And this is a long lake in the Finger Lake region of New York, which is one of the most beautiful parts of the country, I swear. It was founded in the early 1800s, and it was a hub for abolitionists and reformers. Today, Skaneateles is known for its wineries, summer festival, and picturesque downtown. Life here is serene, with a focus on lakefront living, community events, and small-town hospitality. They got 37 votes out of 214 New York votes. Blowing Rock, North Carolina. Blowing Rock is perched in the Blue Ridge Mountains and is named after a local rock formation that creates a unique wind pattern, making objects seem to defy gravity. The town was established in the late 1800s and it became popular as a mountain retreat. Nearby the Blue Ridge Parkway and Grandfather Mountain, this town offers you breathtaking hikes and scenic drives. Life in Blowing Rock is peaceful and nature-focused, with a small but tight-knit community that thrives on outdoor adventure and seasonal tourism. Yeah, it's a big place where people go on the weekend and stuff like that. Blowing Rock got 17 out of 66 North Carolina votes. Medora, North Dakota. Medora was founded in 1883 by a French nobleman, the Marquis de Moraes. I think that's it, Moray. Anyway, it became the center of cattle ranching. Today, Medora is a gateway to the Theodore Roosevelt National Park and holds tight its Old West roots. Medora is in the Badlands of North Dakota. Pretty much everything revolves around its cowboy heritage, with residents embracing the wide-open landscapes and quiet frontier atmosphere. Medora got 12 out of North Dakota's 37 votes. Yellow Springs, Ohio. Founded in 1825, Yellow Springs became known as a progressive and artistic community, largely due to Antioch College. The town is a haven for artists, intellectuals, and those seeking quirky, open-minded vibes. The nearby Clinton Gorge and Glen Helen Nature Preserve provide beautiful outdoor spaces for hiking and biking and anything else you want to do. Today, Yellow Springs is, an artsy, hippie type place, I guess you could say. Locally owned shops, galleries, and, the celebration of individuality and creativity. Now, Ohio got a lot of votes and a lot of different towns were named. This is the only one that got this many. Yellow Springs got 16 of Ohio's 143 votes. Guthrie, Oklahoma. Guthrie, the original capital of Oklahoma, was a bustling boom town during the land run of 1889. The town's Victorian architecture and Wild West history have been meticulously preserved, and it's now a National Historic Landmark District. Modern Guthrie is a blend of the old and the new, with its historic buildings, housing shops, galleries, and cafes. Life's, it's Oklahoma, so life's gonna be a little bit slower paced here, but they do have a bluegrass festival, which draws in a lot of visitors. Guthrie got 55 out of 87 Oklahoma votes. Jacksonville, Oregon. Jacksonville, once a gold rush town, has preserved much of its 19th century charm, and that's how it gets on the list. It was founded in 1850, and it was once the largest town in southern Oregon. Today, the entire town is a historic national landmark, and it thrives as a cultural and outdoor haven. And honestly, any place in Oregon is an outdoor haven. Goes without saying. If you moved here and not just born here, you moved here and the outdoor activities and the nature had something to do with your move. Unless you came for the beer and the strip clubs, then that's a different type of nature, I guess. They have the Brit Music and Art Festival every summer. Concerts, all that stuff. And imagine this, Oregon, it's got some vineyards also. Jacksonville got 22 out of 73 Oregon votes. Lidditz, Pennsylvania. Lidditz, another one of those towns that's really not a small town, but people voted for it, so it's on the list. Lidditz was founded in 1756, and it's a charming town known for its strong sense of tradition. It's home to the nation's oldest commercial pretzel bakery. I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know someone was tracking that. The Julius Sturgis Pretzel Bakery and the historic Wilbur Chocolate Factory are here. Pack the bags, Martha. We're heading to Lidditz. Lidditz Main Street is lined with shops, restaurants, and beautifully preserved buildings. The town celebrates its history with events like the annual Fire and Ice Festival. Modern-day Lidditz enjoys a mix of small-town charm, community, and a welcoming historic atmosphere. One of my first videos I talked about this town. It's amazing. Lidditz got 82 out of 121 Pennsylvania votes. My favorite town in Pennsylvania, Honesdale, they got 17. Wickford, Rhode Island. Wickford, a quaint village in North Kingstown, dates back to the 17th century. Known for its well-preserved colonial-era homes and scenic harbor, Wickford is a maritime gem. If you're into maritime history, you obviously go to New England. That's where you're going to find the best. But Wickford is a pretty good offering for this type of history. This town has a strong connection to the water, with sailing and fishing being key activities. Life here is peaceful, with quiet streets lined with charming shops, art galleries, and waterfront views. Wickford's annual art festival draws artists and visitors from across the country. Wickford got 22 out of 79 votes. Beaufort, South Carolina. Beaufort was founded in 1711, and it's one of the oldest towns in South Carolina, and it's steeped in South Carolina history, in Southern history, really. Its tree-lined streets, old homes, and the proximity to the sea make it a picturesque destination. Now, there's also a town called Beaufort in North Carolina. Today, Beaufort's historic district is a treasure trove of Southern hospitality, and life here moves at a slower pace. It's the low country of South Carolina. That's what they call the southern and eastern section of the state, near the coast. The Low Country. Charleston is part of this area, even though it's a good distance away. Beaufort got 86 out of 109 votes. That's a good rate. It's a nice town. Talked about it before. Deadwood, South Dakota. Deadwood is synonymous with the Old West, and its history is legendary, filled with tales of outlaws like Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane. Founded in 1876 during the Black Hills Gold Rush, Deadwood retains much of its historic charm, with its main street lined with preserved saloons and casinos. Great HBO series called Deadwood. It's a series, but it's kind of based on the history of what went on there. Very interesting, very good series. But Deadwood, it keeps that Old West vibe alive and well. Deadwood got 30 out of 64 votes. I was surprised. I thought someone's going to throw Sturgis in there. Sturgis only got 5 votes. Sturgis isn't a quiet or, quaint small town. It's just there for the biker festival. Jonesboro, Tennessee. As Tennessee's oldest town, Jonesboro was founded in 1779, and it's like a living history book. The town played a pivotal role in the abolitionist movement, and its beautifully preserved historic district is filled with 18th and 19th century buildings. These days, it's known for its storytelling tradition. It hosts the National Storytelling Festival every single year. Life in Jonesboro is quiet and community-focused, with a deep appreciation for history, storytelling, and Southern charm. Yeah, I just think about that Jonestown thing where that cult all drank the Kool-Aid. That's every time someone says Jonesboro, I think of that, but it was called Jonestown. Jonesboro got 47 out of 77 Tennessee votes. Fredericksburg, Texas. Fredericksburg was founded in 1846 by German settlers, with a rich history and a strong connection to its German roots, which are still evident in its architecture, food, and festivals. This is one of those towns that has that whole European vibe, but it's in Texas. It's beautiful and it's really cute, but it's really out of place. A lot of people like this one. Fredericksburg got 110 out of 321 Texas votes. That's a lot of votes. Moab, Utah. Moab, Utah is a small town with big outdoor appeal, serving as a gateway to both Arches and Canyonlands National Park. It was founded in the late 19th century. Moab was once a farming community, but gained fame as an outdoor mecca. This is a hotspot for hiking, mountain biking, and off-road life, I guess you could say. Moab, Utah got 24 out of 87 Utah votes. Woodstock, Vermont. Woodstock, often hailed as one of the prettiest small towns in America, was charted in 1761. It has long been a hub for agriculture and is home to the Billings Farm and Museum, which preserves Vermont farming history. The town's historic charm is enhanced by covered bridges, quaint inns, and little shops. Life in Woodstock today is peaceful and community-oriented, with a focus on nature, local farming, and traditional New England living, which means a lot of maple syrup, I imagine. Woodstock got 17 out of 152 votes. Yeah, they had a lot of votes, but they were all over the place. Montpelier, which is the state's capital, was even voted on here. It's a city, but, you know, it's cute. It could be a small town. It's just kind of big. Abingdon, Virginia. Abingdon is located in the Blue Ridge Highlands, was founded in 1778, and boasts rich Revolutionary War history. Its downtown is full of historic homes and the Barter Theater, one of the oldest theaters in the U.S. This has been a cultural fixture here since 1933. Life in Abingdon is a mix of outdoor adventure, thanks nearby Virginia Creeper Trail, Appalachian culture, and tight-knit communities with a love for arts and history. Virginia's got a lot of history. I think a lot of times it's overlooked. You know, other states and other cities get a lot more attention for their history, but Virginia is thick with history. Civil War and Revolutionary War. Abingdon got 41 out of 127 Virginia votes. Leavenworth, Washington. Leavenworth, once a struggling logging town, reinvented itself in the 1960s as a Bavarian-themed village. Its alpine charm, complete with traditional German architecture, is nestled in the Cascade Mountains. Today, Leavenworth is a year-round tourist destination known for its lively festivals, including Oktoberfest and the Christmas lighting celebration. I've never been to the Christmas lighting celebration. It's like 6 hours away from me, but a lot of my friends have put pictures up on Facebook. It's amazing. It looks so nice. I gotta go see that one of these days. Yeah, this is another one of those towns that went the whole European feel. At least, you know, it's supposed to be a Bavarian one, and this is in the hills of the Cascade, or the mountains of the Cascades. So it's a little more normal, I guess. Not as weird as Fredericksburg in Texas, where in the middle of Texas, it's got this whole German thing going on. Leavenworth got 71 out of 97 votes. Harpers Ferry, West Virginia. Harpers Ferry is a small town with a huge historical footprint. Founded in the mid-1700s, it played a pivotal role during the Civil War and is known for John Brown's raid. Well, John Brown was a guy from the Midwest that was trying to abolish slavery, and he decided to go after people. So he had this band of people that, you know, some people called it an army or whatever. It was a militia. And they attacked the troops at Harper's Ferry. It didn't go well for him. And at the time, this was not West Virginia, it was just part of Virginia. He was captured, put on trial, and hung in Charlestown, Virginia. These days, it's a great place. A lot of field trips go there, teach kids about the history, but it's a tourist thing now. You got the Potomac and Shenandoah River meeting right there. Life in Harper's Ferry is peaceful, with an emphasis on history, nature, and the charm of living in a town that feels like you've stepped back in time. Harper's Ferry got 35 out of 52 votes. Fish Creek, Wisconsin. Fish Creek is located on the Door Peninsula, and it was founded in the mid-1800s and quickly became a hub for commercial fishing and lumber. Today, it's a popular tourist destination known for its waterfront charm and proximity to the Peninsula State Park. Life in Fish Creek revolves around the beauty of Door County, with locals enjoying boating, hiking, and the town's artistic community. It's always the artistic stuff. Whenever you look at one of these places' websites, they always bring up their artistic life, you know? You never see that in Hoboken, New Jersey's website. Fish Creek got 12 out of 87 views. Yeah, they got a good amount of views, but they were all over the place. Tons of little towns got like 3 votes, 2 votes, 1 vote. All right, before we get to the last one, let me know in the comments section below which town in your state do you think should have been on this list. Remember, this is just opinions of people. All right, on to our last one. Cody, Wyoming. Cody was founded in 1896 by Buffalo Bill Cody, the legendary showman. The town retains its Wild West spirit with rodeos and the Buffalo Bill Center of the West. Cody is another gateway to the Yellowstone National Park, and life here is a mix of modern-day ranching, outdoor adventure, and a celebration of the town's colorful history. So, Cody, again, is not a small town. It's got over 10,000, but this is the one people voted for. Imagine if I would have put down under 10,000 or something like that on the survey. Most people wouldn't have answered because they got to go look and find out how many people are living in a town. Oh well, it's interesting anyway. Cody got 31 out of 66 Wyoming votes. Alright, that's today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, you probably like one of the videos being suggested right now. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.